All right, we're up.
Okay. Do we have reports? Do you want to start off with anything that you have, Andy?
Everything's up in the air. As far as the smart lock thing, we're on the home stretch. I think they either finished up or getting ready to pretty much finish up down at the health department. This way, have you talked to them? Pretty close down there. What we need to do is, I'm trying to get the windows put in Augie's.
That didn't happen?
Well, no, because Billy Ann comes in after hours. Well, and she's more paranoid than Augie. So I said, I gave Larry Tammy's number. I said, call and schedule it with her, because every time I do, then, so anyway. So I don't know when they'll do it. They'll have to schedule it themselves. I've scheduled it.
What's paranoid got to do with it?
I don't know. I'm not getting into it anymore. They do it themselves.
They're working on the assessor's office yesterday. If somebody was there working,
On the windows?
they were inside the assessor's office.
I don't know that now. Dina asked me if Bob could go work on that, and I said, I want to make sure he's got insurance,
I told him the same thing.
because just went through that, so
Somebody was working inside, they had the door open.
I'm a little,
Don and Ed all was working on moving that area.
okay, so that they can do, okay. Because they're gonna take that brick wall, that, you know, when you walk in the assessor's office, first thing's that brick wall. Well, that's just, it's not a supporting wall. It's just, I don't know why they did that, but anyway, it's a brick wall, and they're gonna take it down and put two windows, so when you walk in, you can go right up to the window instead of kinda walking around the corner.
Maybe that's what they were doing, somebody was working on that.
And moving stuff around, so when they get ready to do the work, they asked if Bob could work on that. It's no landmark.
No, I don't think so.
So
We got,
I just said, make sure he's got the insurance credentials to do it.
what was our issue here? It was a heating issue because it was last week or whatever. Was it?
I'm still working on that. I
That's
mean,
about-
because it was hot.
Yeah, no, it was cold outside, so it was cold in here. It wasn't warming up, right? That was the issue.
Right.
And then when was it I came in and it was real hot upstairs. What day was that?
Today.
More recent.
Nah, it was today too, they said. They got calls, like got hold of Larry.
It was pretty nice in here.
It's not bad in here. So, anyway, the main problem is they put everything in, then this COVID-19 thing hit. They've never been able to come in and program everything and instruct everybody how to use the thing.
Probably
So
the ducts were full of virus, and so they couldn't.
Well, and
Right.
the next problem is going to be with heating and cooling any building. You know how different it is depending on the bodies that are in here. So they're gonna set it up and get it dialed in and have everything working good. And then down the road, you get 4 times as many people in the
Well,
building
it's-
and
it's variable flow, so it's supposed to account for that. The more people that come in, the fans kick on hard.
sure, but yeah, I know, but you're still gonna be you know.
Is there one main control for the whole building?
No, they're all controlled. There's a control over there for this room.
Okay.
It was a plus or minus 5. or
5
something
degrees,
Oh,
that's
is it 5 degrees?
It's 5 degrees.
So it's
I
automatic.
took it out of the automatic, had them take it out because, I don't know, we had problems with that for a little while. So we just gotta get in. I mean, a guy could spend a good half a day, if not 3/4 of a day, programming this whole thing. I mean, it needs to shut down at night, turn on about an hour before people come in the morning, and program everything so it'll work. That's what makes it really super efficient.
I assume that that's part of their,
Well, they'll definitely do it, but,
Well, and you get
You're
into,
talking about-
if they still have some windows to put in, that's, you know.
sure.
so, anyway, I got with them this morning to tell them that it's really hot upstairs in the atrium area. I think both of them were running hot.
The judge's chamber is fine. Okay?
So the offices are
The
okay?
offices are
It's that
fine.
common area, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the common area
And
where
the
people
courtroom?
wait. No, the
Just a
courtroom was
comment.
fine too.
Okay. I stopped and checked it, it appeared that it was set at like 73, and that's what the temperature should be up there. But I think it's the chimney effect. I think those are on downstairs, and I think the ones upstairs are on. So it was a little warm, I thought, downstairs, but it was really warm upstairs.
It had cooled off. I was up there for about 45 minutes, from about 8:30, quarter to 9 to 9:30. It had cooled
Cooled
off
down.
a little bit. So
And I'm sure there's some other things, but I can't think of them.
are they all done at the jail?
Are they on hold? What's that?
Well done.
I don't think, they haven't got the baseboard in yet.
No, I meant a smartwatch. They're all done.
Smartwatt's all done at the jail. Everything's done, the water controls and, one thing we do need to do is get a water softener. I told the sheriff to get me the water bills prior to
President's phone.
Prisker.
Close.
I'm not sure.
Wind farm.
Either of them.
The wind farm people are calling.
We are gonna have to put a water softener in down there for that. Actually, I would put it in for the entire place, because he said they had problems with some of those, the toilets and stuff. They got little capillary hoses to run some of the things, and he said they've had alignment problems with stuff, so you need to I put the water softener in the whole place. I told Jeff to get me a copy of like a year's worth of water bills before they
Of course, that'll
move the
be
prisoners
totally
out.
different.
Huh?
That'll be totally different now.
Well, I wanted it before they shut it down. That way I'd get a good volume of what it was, and then you can size the water softener according to that.
Well,
But
I think you're saying that because of the high efficiency. that
Our
was-
water bills dropped by 50% for the whole county.
in the whole county, you
Yeah,
have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, they're not using.
They're not using
Yearly,
any
they're
water.
not using
Nobody's
much
here.
water.
Right there, so
Okay.
My water bill hadn't dropped any.
mine
But
is-
the smartwatch
ours
should
is
have-
sewage, There is not water.
Should have a projection on what they expect to run through it, and we can size up a little bit for safety or whatever.
probably
like you
should.
said.
Yeah, because
I
your
can ask.
price difference on the water softener based on, you're not, you want to make sure to get one big enough, and I don't think you're talking a whole lot of price difference.
No, but I
Stepping up
don't
an
wanna
extra
get a little one that has to regenerate 2 or 3 times a day.
Right.
Yeah,
I
you need
wanna
to
make
make
sure
sure to
it's
get
big
one big,
enough.
yes, I guess I'm saying better too big than too small.
Right.
Usually you want them.
All right.
Size doesn't matter.
Huh?
That's how you use the water softener, that's important.
Anyway, other than that.
Any other questions of Andy?
What about the roof, is that something we need to talk about?
The roof on the jail?
No,
I
the
don't-
roof on the courthouse.
We
Not the
will.
price.
Let me go circle back. The baseboard, they're gonna find a different kind of baseboard to put in,
Okay.
is my understanding, and they're gonna replace some tile. Okay?
Okay.
I did.
Floor tile?
Gary,
No.
Ceiling tile?
well, they get it. Okay.
Now, there's some floor
There's some floor
tile.
tile too.
That's mostly in the kitchen,
In
isn't
the
it?
kitchen area.
Yeah. Now, as to what Dan was talking about as far as the roof here, we have not heard anything yet, other than we're still preparing. Our first date that we have to have stuff put in for application is a couple of weeks away yet, Dan.
Let's see.
So we haven't heard anything on that at all yet, okay?
That's heard, the estimate of $2 million.
There were some, it depends on, yes, if you went to the expensive slate in copper, absolutely. But it also was down, I think the estimates were 1 million to 2 million, okay? And that's fully phased. If we have to, we can always phase in stuff also. I think you got I don't know whether you got an email on that or not, I can't remember.
I've been getting emails on a regular basis.
But they're trying to zero in on what we're talking
They're trying to make it pretty encompassing, and I think you could take away certain things and kind of prioritize, like the roof number one, the exterior envelope number two.
Big difference between tile and slate.
Well, when you were going and talking, started doing some pricing just initially with the roof, the one that you talked to, you were kind of pleasantly surprised by what they kind of quoted in the rough, based on being able to reuse.
Some of the, a lot
Tiles
of
and
the,
things
some
like
of the
that.
tile,
It
yeah.
was actually below $1 million, wasn't it?
It was 500,000 at that time, just the roof. Now, I don't know how much decorative trim and different things that included,
Sure.
or just the roof. But to me, that seemed pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought the whole package was up around 700,000-800,000 by the time
That
you
was
did
everything.
what you needed to
Yeah.
do.
Right, that's kind of what I thought.
And that was
yeah.
in, what, 17, so that's
17.
3-4 years ago, so it's obviously gonna be different than that.
I mean, I
now.
assume the same people are in this mix as well, right, as we're.
yes, the architect engineers are with Jenny and Elston,
Right, which is Arnie.
Arnie.
Dan?
Would you have to put the tile back on, or could you use like metal? Does it have to be like historic or something like that? Could you use could you put a metal roof on?
You will put metal, ours is a mixture of metal and tile,
Okay.
or metal and slate now.
Okay.
I would,
You couldn't put all metal back on.
We'd have to ask.
If you're trying to make it look
That's
like it
what I
does
wanted.
now,
Right.
it would probably be, not a big cost difference between the two.
I'm not sure that at some point, it wasn't, that roof line's been changed at some point. If you get up there and look, you can see where they actually built it up. And I don't know if it was always red slate,
That's what I wanted.
because there's a whole bunch of gray slate stacked up there. Now, you don't carry a whole bunch of gray slate up for the hell of it.
Yeah. Exercise,
Okay.
just to keep the heart rate up.
That'd be worth some money.
Yeah.
Well,
They're different sizes and stuff, but.
And Dan, I went through this with my parents' house to get on the slate roofs. The slate never wears out,
Yeah, right.
but it's not what keeps the water out. It's the membrane
Underlayment.
underneath the
That's what I'm
slate,
saying.
and it just protects the roof, so,
Metal would
you know-
last 50, 100 years, the metal roof, right?
well, so,
Supposedly.
yeah, so will a slate, but you reuse the slate, you have to take the slate off and put the stuff underneath, and then you put it back on, which is more labor intensive, but you don't have to buy the materials, cause your underlayment's gonna be the same whether you're slate, steel, shingle, whatever.
And they're pretty advanced in their underlayments now compared to what they were when they.
Well, we've
Put the
all
first
heard that
one.
story
Yeah.
before on things we bought.
So you put a slate back on just for ornamental, just for the look?
No, actually to protect
Protect the
the,
underlayment.
the tar paper underlayment, whatever,
Okay.
cause it protects the membrane that actually keeps the water out.
Okay.
Any other questions about the courthouse, the jail, smart lot?
Do we have an opening date for the jail?
No. We
We're
have
waiting
a,
on the insurance company?
we have a insurance inspection on June 9th. Okay? At that point, they will go back, figure out what we can do, and then they'll get back to us. I'm still waiting to hear how long that's gonna take, okay?
You talk about the envelope, is there other things beyond the roof itself? What other things are part of this?
There's a few other things. There's some tuck pointing, different places that need to be done, some caulking around some of the windows.
None of our other structural issues, i.e. stairs and like the shit like that kind of stuff?
Well, we need
It's
to do,
kind of envelope.
yeah.
I didn't know if that was part of that package.
That's part of that
Something we need to
package.
Look at,
That's
okay.
part of that package.
Good to go.
Yeah, the package includes.
Now,
that.
originally, if you listen to, you get the emails from Arn. I don't think he counted on the prevailing wage thing. It sounded like in his first estimate.
Well, remember,
That's a
we-
big difference.
That's a big difference in Illinois.
$25 an hour.
Right, so that's, I mean, he alluded to that in one of his
That's what they say,
emails.
it's-
Didn't you catch that? He said-
Right, well, the
Yeah.
first contractor we were talking to was not a union contractor, and that was.
And while they can do it,
but they
There's a
still
lot
have
more
to.
stuff you gotta go through, and
Right.
time is of essence, so.
Right,
They're hoping to get somewhat put together like today or tomorrow, right?
right, this
Yes.
week, yes,
This week.
because it's first in,
First come, first served.
right,
We hit a lot of the metrics that qualify us for these projects, and it sounds like it's kind of a tough thing to qualify, and we hit a lot of them.
right.
So,
And it depends on who you're using and whether you've got a consistent track record of dealing with it.
and
I
whether,
mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff.
whether it's a shovel ready.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we resubmit, once we submit, then we resubmit for the long-term one that's not shovel ready. And that'll give us 2 shots, okay? And then it's phased, so if we don't get any shot, we wind up being able to do a smaller version with the smaller amount of money that we are gonna get, okay? If that makes any kind of sense.
And they like these kind of projects, they're pretty visual, I mean, it makes them look good.
Yeah, no, I get it. All the standard government stuff,
Yeah.
copy, got it.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about the courthouse? I met with the Judge Garst today, because you guys asked me to. And one of the first things, on June 1st, the courthouse will be totally open as far as for business. Okay, that comes from the Supreme Court. There's provisions that the judges here will have to abide by. And we met the other day with the jail, with Jeff and his 2 subordinates, the chief jailer and the chief deputy. And they're coming up with a plan to open the courthouse, but only allow 1 entrance, 1 exit, well, basically 1 entrance, and that was the one we're using right now. The most important thing to realize is that they want to man the walk-through, what do we call that? The
Oh, the metal.
metal detector. And the staff have come up with a way that they can do that and still maintain security in the courthouse. Now, I don't know how you guys, Carl and Andy, heard it, but the judges aren't saying that we have to do that 5 days a week. That would be entirely up to us. They would like it done in heavy court traffic days, obviously. Maybe even for domestic issues, but be flexible, because some of the potential dangers in dealing with divorces at all. What am I trying to say, Carl? That court, what is that court where they deal with family issues? Family court?
Well, domestic violence.
Domestic, yes, that could be an issue. And he had days and had given it to the guys to reconcile. As far as we have to decide and talk to the boys over at the sheriff's department is whether we want 5 days a week or whether we want some modified version of that. But on the days where we're talking heavy court, even felony court, we'd be talking about 3 people from like 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock, roughly, right, Carl?
Or 8 to 4.
8 to 4.
The hours at the courthouse, so.
8 to 4. And we'd have 2 people down on the metal detector and 1 roaming the halls and the court. Also, at this point, the 1 roaming would be to address COVID-19 concerns, social distancing. I know that Jay was here today marking down and marking off some of the benches and repositioning the benches so they can be used or not used, issues like that, so at the judge's orders. So but as far as the offices, they will be open on June 1. So I don't know how that's going to affect the office down here across that we're having issues with, but the courthouse is going to be open and the doors are going to not be locked anymore.
So when did the security issues all arise?
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay.
I mean, that's all news to me.
We just found out about it Friday at the sheriff's meeting. One day last week, they met with the judges, and that was just something they talked about and suggested that we start doing.
They asked
Sounds
for
like
it for
more
a
of a-
while, but.
I was gonna say, they
Well-
wanted it for a while.
Well, we have been providing certain security
Okay.
Do we
for
have
the
a
court.
staff for that, Carl?
Pardon?
Do we have a staff to do that?
Currently, no, but, you know, he's gonna find a bunch of part-time people to do that. I don't think the plan now is to hire any full-time people, just
No.
utilize some part-time people. And I guess, you know, if they do implement it and things don't work out, then you're not stuck with a full-time person, you know.
And I'm confused, maybe I missed something. So when you talk about 3 staffers, are we talking about 3
Part-time,
deputies from,
no.
because it sounded to me as if we're talking about at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 of those people were just staff inside the courthouse that would volunteer to be down there. But you're talking about security personnel.
Security personnel. These would be retired DOC people, a lot of them. We have one person that has been operating security in the courthouse, and chances are, I don't see why not. He would be going from full-time deputy to part-time because of other business commitments. So it kind of fleshes out pretty good. He knows the courthouse, he knows people, he knows the routine, and can help break in some of these DOC guys. I think there was 13 he had to choose from, is that what he said? At any rate, he's got a lot of them that are looking for part-time employment, that they would be brought in. Go ahead.
No, it's just surprising we have this
Jay,
flood of
Jay has a lot of
personnel.
them, right?
Right, Jay does.
Jay does.
There's a lot of recently retired DOC employees in Paris, because when they first opened the work camp up 25 years ago, a whole bunch of people from Paris started working there, stayed with DOC, and then they all retired in the last couple of years, so
Good for
there,
us.
there really is kind of a big pile of them, I guess is the polite way to say it.
We also agreed that most of this would come out of the court security fund, okay? So it wouldn't be a direct reflection on our budget at this point, and that we would go back a ways to collect some of the funds that we're paying out, or have paid out over the last 5 months or 6 months for some security.
It seems like recent events have forced the issue about the single point of entry, so I mean, we're already there, which I assume we're gonna maintain that for the
Yeah.
time being.
That's what the judges would like to
It seems
do.
like a public health issue to me,
The only thing we,
having a single point of entry.
Oh.
That's more of a problem than multiples from the
Yeah,
health
I know what you're
standpoint.
saying. But that was something we discussed a year ago.
Right.
When we talked about security concerns.
Choking it down to
And
one.
so this, kind of forced the issue, now we're there, so it makes sense to me to just maintain status quo until we have some issues.
Don't let a good crisis go to waste.
That's right, that's right.
now, the 4 doors that we have here would remain locked from the outside.
Yeah.
Well, because, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, go ahead.
The 4 outside these 4 doors would be locked from the outside. What we might wanna do, because they're a little difficult, if somebody's panicked and trying to get through those, we might wanna put a different kind of, an opener on them that would, I guess, make it easier. Derek, I'm sure.
Every time I leave one of these meetings, I'm gonna hurry to get the hell out of here, so I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying.
Do you have any more important comments?
Really. Yeah, I mean, to me, that would be something, unless we got word from like the fire marshal or something, that was a real concern, that would be a huge priority. Now, if
No.
that can fall on this project or something, where we can say, hey, here's some other concerns we'd like to get folded in there, great. As far as us, jump through hoops to get something done like that, I don't know.
I didn't say it was a high priority, it's just something that we
Sure.
ought to think about. I'm sure they make Panic Hardware, I'm not sure we need to go that far, but except for you,
Yeah.
we'll assign the door to
Well,
you.
I mean, I think you can find something that's not quite like the bar that you push on your way out and then it shuts.
Just a lever or
Yeah,
something.
just a loop, yeah, something you can push on.
Yes, Dan.
What you gotta do is turn the knob.
How
It's
sensitive
turning
is it?
Bigger, right?
Excuse me, guys,
How
Dan.
sensitive is a metal detector? I have both knees replaced and shoulder replaced.
You
Is
can't
that
come
gonna
in.
go off like that?
Make sure we get that.
They're gonna pat you down, okay?
Full body
Oh,
cavity
that's
search,
all
man.
right, all right.
They,
I just wonder how sensitive it is.
well,
No,
imagine
it
it's
actually,
sensitive.
I just wondered if it detects that.
They would have a wand. In other words, if you
Okay.
go through there a couple times and you're still registering and you take off something
No,
and it's
I
still,
just wondered.
then they will move you to the side
Like you on your knee.
and
Okay. I've never been, I just
we'll do a
wondered.
magic wand on you, Dan, and make you all better.
I just wondered if
No.
there's like accident through a metal detector.
Yes,
I think
Carl?
there's a sensitivity thing on it, you can adjust that.
No, I just wondered.
I'm not sure on this
Does
one.
that mean I'm not-
I don't know either. It may be junk too. We may have to get a new one. I don't know.
Yeah, it was one that was given to us, I think Ed acquired that when he was sheriff.
Wasn't there some grant or something they got those? There's two, there were two of them, weren't
Yeah,
there?
well, they were given to him
Okay.
at one time, that's what I remember.
Okay.
Don't know. But at any rate, we need to, I guess, put out something to everybody that the courthouse will, and the judges are. They are going to suggest masks. The judges are not going to require. Okay, I'll let them speak for themselves. So if somebody feels uncomfortable without a mask, they need to wear them. But that includes inmates and everybody, and that they will provide, and masks will be provided at all areas of the courthouse.
And that will be all offices in the courthouse that are opening on June 1st.
I mean, they're all generally open in some shape or form now, right? For the
Well,
most part.
With the mask.
Appointment only.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Call.
So does that change, or is that over to the individual offices to decide how they're gonna run or?
all the offices I've talked to are gonna open, but I don't know about Augie's office.
Well, say, makes sense to me that if we're open, there's still things we can do to mitigate and keep people as safe as possible, so.
I agree.
As long as it makes sense, and I don't know that we have to have a uniform policy, but every manager should have some idea of how they're gonna do it, and if it's status quo like in Augie's office, then that should be fine, you know, I think. But I mean, as far as us putting out a statement, that's what you're talking about?
Well, I just meant a memo to the staff. I didn't, the judges are they're gonna make the statement.
Got it.
As
I
far
don't
as the
know that we
public.
need to-
Oh, I don't think we need to,
Okay.
unless the board wants to. I mean, it's,
I do enjoy issuing statements.
I
Makes me feel important.
need to find out from everybody what their intentions are before you make statements, so.
well, I think everybody's
Yeah.
aware that they're gonna follow the courthouse, I mean, as far as the judges.
Well, the only thing I could see on a public statement, and not a grand proclamation, but if any citizens coming up to the courthouse for business, it would be nice if they knew that that was the only door they could come in.
And I think the judges are doing that,
Okay.
as well as what would be required, social distancing, et cetera. They're gonna issue an order, I guess is what you could say.
Are people pretty much used to coming in that one door now?
You know, I don't know how many.
Quite honestly, I don't think so, because there isn't hardly anybody coming in the courthouse.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think people are aware of that. So we need to see what they're gonna say, and then maybe we can get some
Signage.
information to Gary, so in Saturday's paper, it's clear.
And I posted on our website.
Yeah.
And Augie is probably going to have to remind people when you get to early voting time, because that'll be in October. That's probably the biggest influx of people that normally don't come in here, I'm guessing.
Things may be changed with them anyway, hopefully.
Well, if this is a security thing, not a COVID thing,
Right.
But I think we're gonna maintain the security. We're one of the few courthouses in the state where you can come in 5 different
And
doors.
social distancing and stuff like that may be completely gone by then. We hope.
That'd be nice.
yeah, I know, I just don't want somebody coming in to vote and walking into that door like they always have, see it's locked, turn around and not vote. I mean, that's, and I mean, it's
Well,
not a
you-
big deal, but
I assume there'll be some kind of, something posted there that says,
Yeah, I mean.
The only one is the-
We're in the weeds on this.
yeah.
It's already there, isn't it?
Stop, go downstairs.
Yeah.
Next.
When we went to Pittsfield that time, of course, they were all locked down to one entrance. And they actually had,
Charleston said.
they had ropes across, you know, kind of decorative looking ropes. So you kind of looked and thought, oh, you can't come in that
On the
one,
exterior?
on the stairs.
Well, that might be something, a rope there, you know, when they're walking up, they can see that, maybe a sign.
Sign hanging
Use
off
north
of it.
entrance.
Use north entrance only.
There's
No.
something on the door
Makes it a little
now.
rough if you need to.
Yeah, there's
exit quick,
something on the
like,
door
yeah.
now that you can only use.
Or people take in, or, you know, like, I don't know, like, I think for the time being, we'll see how it goes, but I'd say, just make a copy, something easily legible, you just tape to the window, use the door on the north side.
I think there is something on those doors now.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, done, easy.
Okay.
Something else to think about,
I just.
are we gonna have someone disinfecting, you know, door knobs and, you know, handrails and stuff? You know,
They're
so
doing
that's something we
that
need to do, and who's gonna do it? We don't have a janitor.
I thought Mike
HRC.
was doing that in the
Mike
morning though.
does, and HRC goes around, I need to get with Mike again.
Yeah,
yeah, both are, they have whatever special
So he
cleaning.
does it once a morning, and HRC's here twice a week.
yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah. So that's something to think about. Maybe the security
Security
people,
guys.
you know, talk with the sheriff and see if,
Like a Lysol holster.
Yeah.
So they would go and carry license.
They could carry a purse with them.
Again,
Good luck.
things may be different.
Good luck getting the wipes. Can't find them anywhere.
Well, it's a good point though. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got to, we've got folks,
Yeah, think about the wand. You know, how many bodies is that gonna come in contact with on a busy court day?
The wand?
Yeah.
You're not gonna touch it, obviously.
You just
You're not gonna touch
close.
Depends on how intimate your.
It's an airborne virus.
It might be kind of fun, John, you don't know.
it's not used in
Carry it down
cavities.
different places.
Sick people.
This on audio or video.
both.
All right.
Just kidding.
Dan, do you have anything?
I saw Andrew yesterday, asked her about the animal shelter, everything running fine, so.
She hadn't any cat cases out there? or-
Hey, what?
She hasn't had any cats that with
I just
coronavirus?
spent 13 on Union Street a while ago. Anybody need a cat? We got 13 down
Have
So,
they
there.
all
Even
been
on my car
spayed
now,
and neutered?
color my car, pull up, they all come from all over the place.
I think Dan's ready for a new nickname.
Cat whisperer.
Also, I'm on there and about getting the road fixed out there. The potholes are getting deeper. So he said he'd do it, otherwise I'm not gonna vote for him for the job.
You already did that, Goofy.
Yeah, no, everything's run fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't there a book like 101 uses for a dead cat? You fill a pothole with a certain.
Hey,
Might work, otherwise.
remember, we're on film. You're gonna get
You
emails.
could have
Letters.
Andrews.
I think in
I'm not
district,
gonna
your
comment on
district, that comment will get you reelected, no problem.
No, everything's running great.
Phil, do you have anything?
Nope.
How about you? Do you have
Drainage
anything?
ditches are fine.
You don't have anything?
Any, I don't think so, I haven't seen any traffic, email or otherwise from anybody,
No,
so.
I haven't either.
I did not say anything to Hanson about they're officially rehired. but-
Well, I think Tom was gonna handle that, so we could get the proper documents that they could send.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they set up to do spraying at the airport and stuff. I mean, is there anything that has to be done, like construction wise?
You're talking about for the
Crop
crop,
dusting.
crop
Crop
dusting?
dusting?
No, I mean, they should be good to go for that. there's no, I mean, all construction is complete, and frankly, the crop dusters, the last thing that was set up and ready to go was the fuel system. I don't expect any of the crop dusters to use that, so they got a hell of a lot more concrete to explore, so it should be good this year, so.
Do you have anything for the hospital?
They were running roughly 75% of our pre-COVID volume for both EMS and ER, so let's pick back up. The rest of the services are still 50-ish% pre-COVID. Life Center is set to open end of June. They got a meeting today for that, so there's senior care, mental health, and HRC will be set up there come into June.
How'd the testing go?
We did about 75, 80 people came through that first one. All those results, as far as I'm aware, are negative.
Was that the antibody test as well?
That was antibody.
Okay.
Next one's set up for June 3rd, so we expect more of a turnout for that one since people are kind of aware of that now. All of our other, we're still doing actual COVID swabs daily, so we're 2 to 5 day turnaround on that. Yeah.
I always said something about they're getting the instrument now that can do the antigen test in-house.
I know the lab is undergoing a remodel right now.
We said something about they were supposed to get the actual instrument that could do the antigen test.
I know they're undergoing a remodel right now,
Yeah.
but without talking to Dave, I'm not sure what all that would entail.
But I always said there was a positive at the hospital that they lived in.
Yeah.
And so does that count as a positive for
No.
Edgar County?
So there
It
wasn't.
still says 0. It's
There
really
was an
not.
employee positive. All other employees, that employee doesn't have a patient care job. So all other employees that have been exposed to that employee were tested, all came back negative. That employee is at home recovering with no symptoms, as I understand.
Have they had any positive antibody tests that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a message on our status as of today, but as of yesterday, we were still 0. The testing has jumped immensely. They started checking nursing home employees, and that's why the tests have really grown, because they have the availability of the tests and been around to the staffs in the nursing homes, so, which
We
is
have
a
no
good.
positive in the nursing homes, right?
Right. No, there are no positive, period,
Right, okay.
so, that's it.
Who's doing the testing is, do you know who goes around and does like that, the health?
They had to come, they all had to come down, as I understand
To the
it.
hospital.
To the hospital
I
to
see.
get tested. That's what I understood. Like Chrisman came down.
Mainly workers, people that work there, not people.
Yeah, no,
I mean, those, over 1/3 of the people that died of COVID-19 were in nursing homes
you mean around the country?
around the country. So, I mean, that's your hotspots. You need to really be monitoring those compared to just the general population.
According to paper, that, like, if I want to be tested, I could do it, right? Because of my age.
We
I don't have to have the symptoms.
We have enough tests right now. If you want tested, you just talk to the provider.
So it doesn't have to be just employees of the hospital, anybody that thinks they have had it and recovered or have it can be tested. Especially people that are older, like I'm 78 years old, I should be able to get a test.
So you guys are doing those tests out in the parking lot, the actual virus test? Or how
Not
you?
necessarily the virus test, so the respiratory clinic was out of the hospital, it is now moving to Easy Care. Next week, I believe June 1st, it should be moving to Easy Care. But right now, if you want the actual nasal swab, you will have to come into the facility. The antibody test we are doing on a drive-through basis, so you pull up, turn off your car, we draw some blood and send you underway in less than 5 minutes.
Or $75.
$75 billed to your insurance, so depending on your insurance, shouldn't have much of an out-of-pocket cost.
There's somebody peeking in the window behind you.
Okay,
I think I scared her away.
As far as the coronavirus piece, have we got any feedback from any of our business owners with our changes to how our health department is responding to people? I mean, we got-
I haven't heard any, but remember, it was over the weekend. I talked to Janet on Thursday or Friday. I talked to the afternoon after we met on Wednesday, and everything was positive. She said that not just restaurants, but all businesses, and they were gonna go out in line, but I haven't even checked online to see what they say at this point.
There's definitely different, they've got quite a bit of information on there.
Right.
I was,
And then Gary's article over the weekend, his
Uh,
interview with Holly, I think
Yeah.
was a very helpful, very helpful
Yeah,
thing.
it's a good article.
Janet seemed to be very supportive, not that she isn't always, but I mean, she, there's no problem there. And we addressed some of the issues that we talked about. And so but I don't know, and I haven't seen much. I know there's a few restaurants that open, and there's a few businesses that open, but I didn't spend a lot of time in Paris this weekend, so I don't know what's happened down here. Dan?
Yeah, I called her after a meeting last week and told her what had happened, that we basically supported what she's doing and she appreciated it
Right.
really well.
Right.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen anything? Hate to ask Gary, have you?
I heard a word, but I didn't leave the house after I got,
Yeah,
I
you're-
didn't leave my place after I got home Friday, so I didn't
So,
talk to
yeah.
anybody.
So I really don't know. I know there's a couple of restaurants that have opened up. And like I
Here?
said- No, up north.
No, the hairdresser's opening up next week. If my wife gets to get her hair done, she's really excited.
That'll be standing room only.
so we use,
Soleil's open today.
You what?
Soleil is open today.
Okay.
You already get tan this morning?
No, my wife works there, Goofy.
Is that a, is it your hair?
You don't have to go there, you're okay, Carl. You run the
Yeah, we're gonna sell yours for a wig.
I'm just waiting for the restaurant, I'm gonna, what they're holding up for.
They now have outside seating, but geez,
I'm not sitting on a friggin' curb eating
that's
biscuits.
Main Street, downhill.
Sucker, you guys can open the damn doors, I'm not gonna turn you in.
Did all of you get a chance to look at this document? It's a statement from the board. I'm not gonna insult you by reading it to you unless you think we should. Okay. Are there any comments or additions or deletions that you see in this statement that don't reflect what you think it should, or?
oh, it was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Now read it on the internet.
I did pass it by the state's attorney last Friday morning, and he said he saw nothing in it that was a problem, and he said it was well written.
Is this gonna go out in the paper or something? or-
Yeah, when we get to the special meeting, I thought we'd vote to release that
Okay.
statement. I did give a copy to a few people. I gave it to Gary just to look at, see what he
What
thought.
about, maybe I should say the white shows?
No, I didn't give it, I did give it to Janet and Jill and Ollie,
Problem anyway.
and I,
You get up every day, you go through town and everything's still closed.
Right.
I'm amazed at how many places in Indiana are still closed.
Not very many.
Not very many. Every place I wanna go, they're all.
That's right. I got a haircut over there last week.
you did?
Ollie's open.
How much you pay?
Well, that's just a question. Is it just up to them now what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a bunch of, I can't say it's on film, right? Okay. I sure wish they'd open up. It's nice as way.
Anybody in particular you?
Yes, sir.
Well-
I miss what's going on in this community.
I think what the health department has put out and we're supporting and partners with, the article and our statement here, hopefully that'll be put on, we'll get this put online once we agree with it, or agree to it, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, I think the most important part is we remove any ambiguity about our stance, what risks and frankly none, that the business owners have from our health department or from us, as long as they're, being reasonable about how they're opening. So as long as we're getting that message across and the business owners are making a reasonable decision on that for their business and how they deem, then
Well, if they open up, the health department said they would look it over for them and say, this is okay, this is okay, you need to change this. That's all it is, isn't it?
It's all
They're not coming
positive.
at from with the friggin' news.
Right,
No.
but there was some concerns there too, right?
Yeah.
So that's the most important piece.
But I have heard secondhand from a few businesses that, when checking with their insurance companies were not, so we say thrilled with the idea of them opening back up.
No,
And that's the reason they're not,
Not much you can do about that.
yeah.
Well,
Dan,
what happened to the company or the business that opened up early? They got in trouble.
yeah,
They
it's
closed.
all, they have made an effort, they've been talked to, and they are,
They still open?
yes.
Okay.
They were all sitting outside Saturday.
I don't think so.
Well,
They were all bourbons.
they have,
correct?
they have,
I don't think anybody got served anything.
No.
Those were all bourbons.
no, they did not get
Right.
it, they only got verbals.
Okay, so
And
no
they
fines
were,
or anything?
they had hand sanitizers, they cut what you could see inside. I have not personally been in there, but I was told that they were
I just wanted.
trying to be responsible. So that's,
Appreciate that, but choosing hands.
they are being monitored though. I mean, they're not, they were told that, you know, they could expect visits from time to time to make sure they're adhering to,
So if nothing happened to them, then maybe Main Street say, well, if they're open, I'm gonna open.
you know,
It's gonna be gradual, and you know, that's probably a smart way to do it versus, you know, Terre Haute, boom, one day, everything was open, and I think we're gonna kind of dribble into it a little bit more, which probably isn't a bad way to do it.
well, and each owner has their comfort level.
Mhm.
And likewise, we can't, or we shouldn't tell them not to open, but we shouldn't tell them to open. They should do what they think is advisable for themselves and their customers. So,
I think, the Route One Deli, it's open, isn't it? But that's a little bit
That's
different.
That's only
Drive-through.
drive-through.
Okay, drive-through. The Fizz, I haven't seen activity at Fizz.
They're open.
They got a lot of business.
I'd like to ask, is there any public comment?
You're it.
No public comment after discussion. Is there anything else that, do we need a closed session for anything? I think we discussed
We
the
have
only
some,
issue.
We have some lawsuits pending, but I haven't heard anything about them, so.
I know some, the one that you're probably thinking about
Yeah.
is in deposition right now.
And what?
Depositions,
Okay.
so that's all I know.
Okay.
Well, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, that's Derek and Andy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We'll take a brief recess in case anybody has to visit the little boys' room. We'll shut out. Hello. Okay, will you all please rise and recite the pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Augie, we're all here. Public comment? Hearing none, our only purpose for having this special meeting was the statement on the COVID-19 that the board may want to do. What's your pleasure? Discuss, cuss, or have a motion to approve the statement as?
Got one question.
Yes, sir.
In other words, the papers, Saturday talked about, or maybe it's Champagne paper, that what's the representative we have that turned all that stuff into Pritzker? Who's our?
Chapin Rose.
Chapin or? Chapin Rose,
Chapin Rose,
yeah.
Rhode
Say
Island.
turned it all into Pritzker. Pritzker's comment was, well, I don't know if I read it yet or not. I'll have to look. That was his comment. They got all this stuff from the county and so forth. his comment was, well, I don't know if I read them all or not.
Yeah, you got like 59 pages of
Right.
letters from
All of
around this area.
Right. So I said, didn't know if he'd read it yet or not. That was his
Pretty sure
comment.
doesn't give a rat's.
No, he doesn't.
Move to accept, or whatever.
Derek moves
I'll
to
second.
accept the statement. Phil seconds. Further discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, I will go home and change the proposed state, where it says proposed statement, to the date that it was passed, and then get it disseminated out to everybody. Gary, you already have a copy, and you should be fine. And I will make sure that the health department has it and can publish it.
Yeah.
Make sure that Ross has it and can send it out. Where else would you think we should disseminate this to? Of course, our, our, what do you call it? Our
Website.
Website, jeez. Anything
The
else?
only other thing I could think of, and I don't know if they'd be willing to, but possibility, the county health board website.
No, that's one of the first things I said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, and I think I'll send it, there's
My
one
brain
gal
like-
from, channel 6 or 10, I'll probably send it to them, because they've been asked to be constantly asking for update, and I will send it to them. I think they've done a pretty good job of reporting without getting overboard either way, so. How's that?
Do you wanna send it to the governor again?
That's
Save
it.
money on the
Didn't
stand,
have time to read it.
how effective it's been thus far.
Didn't have time to read it
Did
yet.
you say the other paper, like the leader?
He's
or
all
the-
for business.
Yeah, we'll give it to the leader.
And Wisconsin.
Ain't that pitiful?
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Derek moves, Andy seconds, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.